I stood on my father's porch, my young son's tiny hand wrapped in mine, and heard words that cut through me like glass. "We're not your daycare." My throat tightened, not with anger, but with the heavy ache of every promise I'd ever made. I looked into my father's eyes, the man I'd held up for so many years, and said, "Then I'm not your lifeline." The silence that followed screamed louder than any alarm I'd ever known. "I'm Caleb. I'm 35, an ER nurse, the guy who stitches wounds and restarts hearts when the world collapses. My life is in constant motion. Mine, my patients, the ones I fight to save. But the heartbeat that keeps me steady belongs to my 5-year-old son, Noah. Wide-eyed, sticky-fingered, a boy whose laughter feels like pure invention. At home, it's just us, toy trains scattered across the floor, my scrubs tossed in a corner, and the relentless rhythm of a life that never pauses. I work nights, come home smelling of antiseptic, and still read him stories before preschool. I used to think I was a good son. My parents, Diane and Ray, live across town in the old brick house where I learned to ride my bike. It's sagging now, with cracked steps and a garden overrun by weeds. I'd visit most weekends, Noah following with his tiny backpack stuffed with juice boxes and a plush dinosaur. That evening, I was dragging after a 16-hour shift, car crash victims, a seizure case, my hands still trembling from holding a scalpel steady. I needed rest, just 3 hours. I called my dad. "Can you take Noah for a bit? I'll grab him before dinner." I pulled into their driveway, Noah chattering about his new sneakers. The air smelled of rain-soaked cedar, heavy and sharp. Dad answered the door, glasses foggy, a crossword in hand. Mom was in the kitchen, stirring something that smelled like burnt onions. "Hey," I said, setting Noah's bag down. "He's had a snack. He can wait till supper." Dad's face tightened. "We're not your daycare, Caleb." His voice was flat, deliberate. Noah tugged at my pant leg, grinning. I froze. "It's just 3 hours, Dad. I'm running on fumes." "We raised you," he said, folding his arms. "We're not raising him too." Mom glanced up, spoon paused midair, and nodded. "You heard your father." Noah's hand felt small and warm in mine. "Please," I said, voice cracking. "I'm barely holding on." Dad's jaw set. "You can't just drop your kid here because you're tired." The words cut like acid. I wanted to scream, but Noah clutched his dinosaur, watching me with those trusting eyes. I crouched to tie his shoe, heart racing like a code blue. "Go on, buddy," I said, forcing a brittle smile. As I stood, my gaze landed on a shiny new tablet on the counter, screen glowing with a half-played game. It wasn't theirs to use. My stomach knotted. I didn't ask. I didn't need to. I knew. Somehow, I'd pay for it, without touching it. I drove home, Noah humming a tune about stars. My mind wasn't on the song, it was on the tally I kept buried in my chest. 6 years ago, I started saving them. Mom's bakery had failed when a supplier hiked prices. I was 29, just starting in the ER, and I paid their rent just once, I thought. Then Dad's truck broke down. Then my brother Miles needed bail after a bar fight. I always said yes. That's what family does, right? By the time Noah arrived, I was their anchor. Sarah, his mom, and I parted ways when he was 2. We co-parent smoothly, but I'm the one pulling double shifts, stretching every dollar for preschool, diapers, and their endless crises they swore they'd repay. I tracked it, not in a notebook, but like tracking a bruise that won't fade. Thousands, maybe more, sent over the years. That night, after tucking Noah in, I opened my banking app. A notification blinked, $1,200 transferred from my linked savings, labeled urgent. My tea went cold. That account was for their rent only. I called Mom. "What's the $1,200? I asked, voice tight. "Oh, just a thing," she said too lightly. "We'll sort it out." Later, Miles texted, "Relax, Caleb. It was for Dad's birthday, $1,200. I didn't reply. But it didn't end there. The next week was chaos, gunshot wounds, a stroke, a toddler with a stubborn fever. I'd come home, hug Noah asleep, check my phone. More messages. "Dad, can you cover the water bill? Miles, need $300, will repay. Mom, landlord's on us again. Help. Each one pressed against me like a fracture. I said no once to Miles. He called me a snob, said I thought I was above him now. Dad chimed in. Caleb, we're hurting. Don't make it worse. I started noticing things. Mom's new earrings glinting like my car payment. Miles posting from Vegas, neon lights and whiskey glasses. Dad's tablet wasn't alone, he had noise-cancelling headphones too. I couldn't afford them. I wasn't sleeping. Lying there, Noah's soft breaths filtering through the wall, I counted every cent I'd given. I wasn't their son anymore, I was their vault. Then came the call that broke me. From the bank, not my parents. Mr. Hayes, there's a problem with your linked account. Your brother was added as an authorized user. He's made 4 withdrawals this quarter. My hand shook. I didn't authorize that, I said, voice barely mine. You'll need to speak with the account holder, the rep said. That was Mom. She'd betrayed me. They all had. My breath felt jagged. The next morning, I strapped Noah into his car seat, hands unsteady, and drove to their house without warning. Dad opened the door, frowning. Caleb, what's up? I didn't answer. I walked in, Noah on my shoulder, and sat at the cluttered dining table. Mom came in, wiping her hands. Miles lounged on the couch, scrolling. We need to talk, I said, quiet but roaring inside. I'm finished. The words cut clean. I've paid your rent for 5 years, your repairs, your bail, your gifts, and you added Miles to my account without my consent. Mom's eyes widened. Dad looked away, crossword forgotten. Miles scoffed. Caleb, don't make a scene. A scene? I hissed. You stole from me. All of you. Noah stirred, and I lowered my voice, but not my resolve. I'm done being your fallback. No more money. No more rescues. Mom's face quivered, but I continued. You don't get to drain me anymore. I stood, Noah's weight grounding me. Dad said it, voice low and bitter. If you cut us off, we'll lose the house, and Noah will lose his grandparents. The room spun. My vision narrowed. You're using my son against me? I whispered. Mom tried to backtrack. He didn't mean it, Caleb. But he did. I saw it, cold, calculated, willing to wield my child to keep the money coming. That's when I understood. They didn't love me, they loved what I could give. I walked out, Noah's head against my chest, never looking back. In the car, I closed every shared account, changed my number, severed the ties. The truth wasn't the money, they'd taken plenty. It was that I'd let them hollow me out, year by year. Now, it's just me and Noah. I still save lives, still carry strangers through their worst moments. But I don't carry my family anymore. I sleep deeper knowing I'm not pouring myself into people who wouldn't hold my son for 3 hours. The quiet in my apartment feels like a gift. I watch Noah build towers with his trains. I know I chose right. But at 3 a.m., when the world is still, I wonder, could I have helped them without breaking myself? If you were me, would you let them back in? Tell me in the comments. I'm here. Thanks for watching. Betray.